Welcome everyone to yet another edition of our Care for Children seminar series. So much has happened since we last met and so much more to look forward to. As we have with us today the one and only Parul Raval. Welcome Parul.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So Parul has been a legacy volunteer for Care for Children and is one of the main leads who gave birth to our annual Mother's Day project, which started in Delaware in 2012. She has continued to lead this project, which has grown across America since then every year. Parul did her schooling in an undergraduate in Surat, Gujarat, India. She went to Bombay for a post-graduation diploma in journalism and worked as a freelance journalist for the Indian Express Group and also some other Gujarati publications. She came to US in 1999 after her marriage and has been here ever since. We are so fortunate again to have her with us today. So, for those of you who have not heard about our organization, Care for Children is a service project associated with the Art of Living Foundation. We have about 700 plus schools across 1,300 villages and 22 states in rural India, providing free holistic education, food, clothing, and other supplies to over 70,000 plus underprivileged children. To learn more, do check us out at careforchildren.org. Parul, I really wanted today's session to be super interactive, where we get to learn about your journey and growth being a lead volunteer at Care for Children, as well as to know your life stories that brought you to the path of the service. I personally feel very inspired when I see people make the whole world their family. Being a mother myself, I can relate to the natural instinct to give children the best platform for growth. That feeling to mentor children into well rounded human beings who are successful, not just in their outward accomplishments like job or education, but who also show the exuberation of human values. And when I see and meet people such as yourself, Parul, who bring that same environment and care and compassion beyond just the immediate boundaries of a nuclear family, I truly feel humbled and inspired. So, on that note, let's jump in. So, Parul, if you could tell us more about the recent Mother's Day event that happened in May this year. I hear we had an amazing outreach to mothers and healthcare workers across the country, despite us being in a pandemic. I think our audience would love to hear more about it.
Sure. This year's Mother's Day event was very unique and special, definitely, because of the pandemic situation. Also, for the first time, we all worked as a one big national team, and that made this event more special. Let me give you some numbers just to give you some rough idea. So we reached out to around 2,360 senior mothers and women in shelter homes, as well as 1,500 plus frontline workers in around 40 facilities throughout country. This year, 12 states and 28 cities participated. 25 city leads and over 500 volunteers worked together to make this event happen. Children made over 2,000 beautiful cards for senior mothers and with touching messages. So it was really very special. And numbers just give you data, but the enthusiasm and energy, what we felt with all our city leads and little kids and youth volunteers and uh, our mentors like Vijay ji, Rekha ji, Meenakshi ji, everybody, the way they supported us, Maithili, Priya, Pradeep ji, we all worked as a team together. It was completely like a unique experience and was very special. We had great time.
That is phenomenal to hear from you that volunteers of all ages were involved. Amazing. What an effort.
Thank you.
So, Parul, in all these years, is there any story of a mother or a healthcare worker that personally expressed their gratitude to you that you would like to share? Something that struck and made you feel worth for all the hard work that you're putting in?
Yes, there is one story which is why the whole event, started. So 1 year, we used to sell flowers when we started this event, and make some profit out of it and send it to Care for Children. But one day we had some extra flowers. So one of the friends suggested that let's go to the nearby nursing home and give them some flowers. So we made some flowers and we took it to the nursing home. So that was my first experience to go to visit any nursing homes. I had never visited any nursing homes before. So the social worker took us to one room, and I presented flowers to this elderly lady who was sleeping in the bed, and she was very frail looking. She must be in her 80s. And she took the flowers, and then she asked me that, did my daughter send you? And I didn't get the question. I could not even hear her properly because of her speech. And I just asked her again, and she said, did my daughter send these flowers? And so I just looked at the social worker, and she said, say yes. And I just said yes to her. And she held my hands and she started crying. And I had tears in my eyes too. It was such a touching moment. And, she looking at her, she was filled with gratitude, and so did I. And then I left the room. And when I came outside, social worker told me that her daughter passed away 3 days ago, and she had a cancer, and she was only 50 years old. And this daughter used to come every year to bring flowers for her mother. And I, I mean, I was so touched and completely stunned, with this story. And from the next year, we our event was changed. I completely stopped selling flowers, and we just started this new tradition to make flowers and give it to senior mothers. And part of the donation will go to Care for Children. So that's how the whole uh, event started. You can say that, it started out of that gratitude that we felt, while um, giving the flowers to senior mom. So,
That's a very touching story, and indeed, I'm sure the experience was very rewarding for you at the same time.
yes,
And I think you answered my next question, where I wanted to ask you, how did it all start back in 2012?
yes.
So, thank you for sharing the very beautiful story. But on the same token, to get on this path or initiate a project, even if it is very small to begin with, there must have been some challenges you had to work with. How did you handle that, and what advice you might give to somebody who wants to again sprout an idea that they have in their mind?
Um, you know what? When we had this idea, in back when Guruji visited us in 2007 in Delaware, after he left, we worked with the flower decorations, and that's how this the whole thing came, that let's sell some flowers and make some money and then send it to Care for Children. Uh, just I mean, right away, I wanted to implement that idea. So I never thought that what will I do and how will I plan the event and what will happen if people will not buy the flowers. So there was no such thing, because I was so novice, and I just wanted to do it. Nothing other than that came to my mind. And when we started it, it was first year, it was slow, of course, like people were getting to know about this whole thing. I did not know how to ask for money. That's another thing. But then the next year, more people ordered flowers, and a few friends came to help me. In the previous year, I mean, the next year, it just started growing gradually. People started coming, friends started helping, and it just became the whole fundraiser event. It was not started like that, but so, and then I was listening to Guruji, and he always say that, for any event, you plan this much and work this much. And mostly, sometimes we plan this much and, work this much. So I think that works like it just, applies so beautifully here. So just do it.
Right. I think it was just your true intention and just going with it without, thinking beyond how and what. And it all fell into place.
Yeah. So when you have a good intention, when you work on it, if you get success, you will go further. And if you fail, you will learn out of your failure. So either way, you are not going to go wrong, right? So just,
Very, very, very
just,
beautiful. True. What has been your biggest learning through all of this that you would like to share with our viewers?
the biggest learning is people are genuinely interested in good cause. So don't feel shy to ask for donation. If you have a good, genuine cause, just share that with them. And I have experienced that they are everybody so far, like, whosoever I met, they all have like such a interest in good causes, and, they would like to know more about it, and they would like to donate and help. It's our inhibitions that stops us for, asking for donation or something. And if sometimes, if somebody will say no, or, they cannot participate in your event, that's fine. They have some limitations, or their circumstances are different, or they are part of some different organization. So I think we should not be dejected, and just, that was my biggest learning, because when I started it, I also had some inhibitions, and I did not know how to ask. And gradually, more, when I just started doing it, I realized that, no, everybody is interested, giving. It's not that, it's just matter of us asking. So that is the biggest learning.
True, true, very true. Thank you. Parul, who do you feel were your mentors in life in terms of gravitating you to this path of service?
So my father is my first mentor. He is 91 years old and still available to help everyone in his community. And he always used this saying that in order to shine, polish yourself through service. So um, he is my biggest mentor. And when I started volunteering for Care for Children, when I met Vijayji, immediately he was interested in this project what we were doing in Delaware, and he said, "Can we take it to the uh, national level?" And the way with the nurturing guidance and support, and with really, like, a lot of care, and lovingly, the way he, mentored me uh, in this whole fundraising uh, story, which just happened. I was empowered to do this through him. So I think he did a tremendous job mentoring me. So I would give all the credits to him. Um,
He indeed is an amazing human being.
yes, yes.
Parul, I understand you visited some of our schools in India. So could you share a little bit, like which school did you visit, where it was, how was it like, the whole experience being there?
Yes. So my son was in sixth grade at that time, and we both went to India to see my father and my family. And at that time, we were in Mumbai, Bombay, and we visited Shri Shri Vidya Mandir in Dharavi. So, Dharavi is one of the largest slums in the world. They have the highly dense population, and the place is really like tiny alleys and open sewers, and it's like really, you will, when you enter there, you feel that, okay, is it humanly possible to live here in this environment? It is that sad um, place. So this school is right in the middle of Dharavi slum area. So once you enter the gate, it's completely different environment. When you walk to the school, it's a, you see lots of life around, which is, which you have never seen. So when my son came with me, um, as soon as we entered, he said, "Mom, where are we? I don't want to go here." And I just, was nudging him, little like pushing him to come with me and see the school. And I was doubting my own decision, that is it a right decision, because he's not at all looking happy, and how will he behave there, and so I was in double mind too. But anyhow, we entered in the school, and once he entered the school, he saw all these kids playing, and it was their recess time, and they were playing, and they were playing with rings and balls, and so he joined them uh, playing. And those kids started talking in English to him, which was completely surprising to him, because he could not understand. He was just telling me that was his biggest thing, that I will not understand their language, and I don't want to come. I don't This is not a right thing for me. And when they started talking about FIFA World Cup was going on at that time, and they started connecting with Ronaldo and all these different players and the games, and I could not believe that this is the same son who was like, grumbling outside the door, and he's completely a different human being inside. And then he played chess with them, and they beat him in chess, and they played carom, and they were all very happy. And then he was part of different classes they were taking. They had a computer class, and they were so good at it. The kids were really amazing at answering questions and participating. So he was so thrilled and so happy to see all these kids. And he knew the background, that they come from a very underprivileged background, where they struggle to get 2 meals in a day. And the way they were smiling, laughing, and all full of energy, uh, he was so happy to see them. And after 2 hours, he said, "I want to stay back for more time, I don't want to go." And he stayed back till the end of the day, which was completely surprising for me. And after that, he met the principal, and he requested that he would like to come again and volunteer in this school and teach them American football. So, which was even more surprising to me. So yeah, so this is the state of the school there. Kids are so happy when you go. it just like a it's just like a something unfolds in a very beautiful way. These kids, we think that they are from underprivileged background, this that, but the way the school, the teachers nurture them, the school curriculum, everything is such a wonderfully designed. So really they are getting holistic education, and we should support it more and more.
What an amazing sharing there. Thank you. Uh, what what do you think helps in bringing out that smile and that holistic education that you just talked about? What is our school offering which is different from other schools?
So definitely, they are learning all the mainstream subjects, but at the same time, their day begins with yoga, pranayam, a good prayer, and all the teachers are so respectful of their backgrounds. So they treat them very well, and they look so happy. All the students, they look so happy, and the glow on their face, which is really like, I mean, I was completely uh, surprised and happy to see that. So I think maybe definitely pranayam, kriya, everything what they are learning, and the nurturing environment, everything brings the best out of them. Some of them don't like to go back home in the evening, and they look forward to come to school in the morning. They don't like summer breaks or, uh, you know, breaks. So that says a lot about school and teachers.
You mentioned this was in Dharavi in the slums. Are you aware if, in setting up the school, if they faced any challenges setting it up?
Yes, when we were talking to Renuji, principal of the school at that time, in 2013, she said that, initially when they started, it was just started with a good intention that, these kids who are not, the parents were laborers, right? Laborers. So they were working in the construction sites and all. So, all these kids were completely neglected, they were just roaming around doing nothing. So somebody with a good thought and good intention, put a small, like, that place, small shade, and started teaching them. And that one room became two rooms, and with a donation and help of locals, that made possible, so that is how it just very gradually, it grew. And now, right now, there are 250 children there. They don't have bigger capacity, otherwise they would like to expand it, but there's no space there to expand the building. And yeah, so they face a lot of challenges, but I think lots of good intentions and lots of support from local community volunteers, they could do it. So yeah.
So, Parul, as both a donor and a volunteer, what is your message you would want to give out to others who's learning about care for children and wanting to understand how to contribute?
So, as a volunteer, we have so many events spread out throughout the years. We start with Mother's Day, then we have walkathon, we have Dandiya event, and we have a lot of pop-up events throughout. So, if you would like to come, just join us for any events or all the events through your expertise, uh, your outreach, your connections. You can come and you can find your own niche, here, because sky is the limit. Everybody is so open and welcoming, and so everybody will find something for themselves, if they want to do some volunteering. Definitely this is the place to be. It's a beautiful way to connect with everybody. So there are a lot of events. Just come and inquire and join us. And as a donor, definitely we have a wonderful dollar a day program. You can contribute to that and sponsor a child for one entire year with a holistic education, their medical expenses, their uniforms, meals, everything is covered in that. You can go on our websites. There are beautiful school constructions going on. There are so many other activities around those schools, like bus transportations, and many other things are going on. So you can sponsor, you can part of the sponsorship of those projects as well. So there are so many ways you can contribute with your energy, with financially, uh, whichever way you feel like. So come and join us.
Yeah, come and join us. We have lots of opportunities. Like you said, the sky is the limit.
Yes, true.
So I also hear, Parul, that you love teaching vegetarian cooking. And what is that all about?
Um, that just happened with my I work as a work as a floral designer and do some events, floral designs for the events. And two of my teachers from Longwood Gardens who taught me, they suggested that I should do something with my cooking because they liked it. And they said, why don't you start teaching cooking? And that is how it started. And lots of, I can see the trend is changing. Lots of people are interested in vegetarian and vegan cooking. They want to make difference in their lifestyles, and more awareness is spreading everywhere about the vegetarian cooking, and how important to incorporate vegetarian diet and meatless Mondays, and lots of new trends going on. So it's a good way to connect with society and new young people, and it's really good. They, the way they want to learn about different spices, and how we incorporate spices into Indian cooking, or I teach different vegetarian, like various vegetarian cuisines from around the world. So it's a lot of fun. I'm also learning, and they are also learning. So it's a it's a good way to connect with that.
Well, I hope to try one of your delicious cuisines sometime soon.
Definitely. Most welcome.
Yeah. So, Parul, on behalf of our viewers, I would really want to thank you for joining us today and keep continuing to do all the wonderful work that you have. And we are so blessed to have souls like you who guide the way. To all our viewers, I hope you've gained some insight from today's session and enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. So stay connected with us on this journey to support our children. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Our handles are linked in the description. Till next time, take care. Bye.
Thank you so much, Payal.
Thank you, Parul.
Bye.